Hello and welcome to our fourth episode of MEERAcast, Wild Dreamer Productions' very own podcast, telling you everything you need to hear about theatre in Auckland, in New Zealand, Australia, and all around the world, and what it takes to bring to life an international stage production. My name is George, and I'm joined today by Marianne. Hello, Marianne.
Hi, how's it going?
I am so good today. It is another beautiful day here on this side of the world. But how are you going today?
I'm good. It's really nice and sunny here in Auckland as well, on my side of the world. But yeah, it's been good. I'm just in my home office and doing the creative, chugging along.
That's awesome. We actually got to speak to Rashad the other day, also from Auckland. It's so great that we're getting to connect with some of you guys on that side of the world as well. But for everyone who doesn't know who you are or hasn't seen you before, introduce yourself for us. Who are you?
All right. My name is Marianne Infante. I'm a Filipino New Zealand creative in Auckland at the moment. I did my acting training at Unitec, and ever since I graduated in 2016, I've worked as a full-time creative, acting, producing, and now I've recently jumped into writing. But yeah, I'm one of the producers for Proudly Asian Theatre Company, a theatre company based in Auckland. And that's me to a T,
Wow.
for now.
Sounds like you have a bit of a resume with the creative arts there. How did you get into all that, and how has it now kind of spanned into writing? How's your journey through the creative arts looked?
Oh, how far back do we want to go? Well, I've always really enjoyed performance. I started as a dancer actually from a very young age, and I did dance and drama in high school. And then, when you kind of get to the daunting part of the end of high school era, when you're like, what do I do with my life? I sort of just went straight to drama school, and luckily I got selected. And then the next 3 years was an incredible time to unravel who I was or who I want to be, what I want to do, what was, the great question of what is my purpose in life. And from dancing to acting, I just sort of realized that I'm a storyteller and I have a mission to create awareness and be a big part of this movement to represent and amplify marginalized and minority stories. And ever since then, I've just sort of leaned into it, and I'm really grateful that I now work and partner with Proudly Asian Theatre Company with Chai Ling Huang and James Roque, the co-founder of the company, and just really leaned into it. I also work with kids a lot, which is why MEERA is such a beautiful, and it's such a joy to be a part of the company because there's so many children involved. So I teach at Point Chef Drama Club with Nicole Whippy. I also work with Mind Over Manner, which is a neurodiversity focused group that presents workshops and shows around schools for parents, teacher aides, educators to assist and spread awareness regarding kids with that are neurodivergent, and we do so through the creative arts and performance. Yeah.
Wow. Tell us more about that. How do you guys influence the arts with helping those kids? What kind of things do you guys do?
Well, the thing is, so I've always come on board into that group as an actor, and what we do is we have a really wonderful facilitator, Susan Haldane, who brings in her life experience as a mother of a neurodivergent kid, and what she's found in terms of just through living the life is that there is so many people out there that require the support, as a parent, and even more so from my end, because I grew up with a cousin who had cerebral palsy, and it's just been really close to home in terms of really wanting to spread the love and, go around schools and even show other children in the schools, that, hey, there are other people in your school that are wired differently and that are special and genius in their own way. And through that little contact and communication, we can sort of not other people and be inclusive and show people that there are other ways of being involved in these people's lives other than, excluding them or seeing them as weird or bullying. And essentially we're a part of that conversation to create assistance of how do we normalize the conversations and how do we provide care for these people.
That's really amazing and so great to hear. But also, what I guess the arts is all about is spreading that love and almost normalizing difficult conversations that are just almost difficult or can get bogged down in words. And
Yeah,
I think that's often the power of theatre and bringing people together.
Exactly. And I think the arts is, someone told me, someone great, Jonik Juanite said that the arts is for the subconscious, and art reflects life, and what more, what better use to talk to people in communities that you wouldn't be able to in normal, life context, than actually tell them or give them an insight on other people's lives, and the classic put yourself in someone else's shoes. And I think the arts is the best medium to get those messages and themes across, and the right people will always listen, and yeah, you can just do so much and hopefully people will engage.
Absolutely, and I think that makes it even more blessed to have you as part of our Wild Dreamer Productions and MEERA journey as well. But we have a lot of people in the team, and all from different backgrounds or with different journeys to support them to where they are now. We have Arthi, who pursued her medical career, her health career, and but also studying dance and especially a lot of Indian dance along the side as well, like professional education. And we also got to speak to Rishab last week, the assistant director, and I know someone you're very familiar with, who started out as a lawyer and more so grew into his passion and made it his own. But obviously with you going through drama school and taking a very much more like almost formalized approach, how do you think that helped you in your development of your creative flair and stepping into your own?
Oh, well, I mean, to be honest, drama school, in my own personalized view of it, it literally just helped me figure out what it is to be human. You get the voice and the movement technique, which I'm forever grateful for. But at the end of the day, the 3 years of deconstructing the way I work and really figuring out how I function in the world, in the grand scheme of the creative world, and also just figuring out. I think every time someone asks me, "What did you do in drama school?" and I just remember the first year was really all about how do you breathe properly and how do you walk, like how do you. Like such a mundane thing to think about, but it was definitely not something I thought about in terms of what the hell I'd be getting up to in drama school. But yeah, just how to be human, how to feel, how to express, how to communicate, and how to be present in your life, because it could get so cluttered. And as an artist, I find that, your job is to communicate, and how do you communicate as a blank canvas, and then layering that with the stories and the characters you want to, immerse yourself in. But yeah, doing drama school just made me realize that the arts is such a powerful channel, and it's especially in the recent times that New Zealand is dealing with. It's a healing process for many of us. I find that it's therapy. It's a good way to make emotions tangible, make topics visible. It's just
it makes you think and feel in a way that you never thought you could think or feel, or expose you to concepts that you might not normally come into contact with.
Exactly. And I think it's also about the people that you meet along the way, because so many people come in and go. I mean, as a freelancer now, being full-time creative for a whole year now, which is yay. It's actually just taking in the people that come in and whatever walks of life they're coming from, and just being a bit more aware that the world is bigger and smaller at the same time than we think it is. And just, being open-minded is what drama school really,
That's
I don't know
amazing.
if I answered your question there, but
No,
yeah.
totally. I reckon we touched on a lot, so absolutely. But obviously throughout all this journey, going through drama school and working on the different shows and now potentially writing, but how was it that you came into MEERA? We spoke to Rishab a little bit last week, who mentioned you were potentially a bit hesitant at first about MEERA, but how did that kind of experience of starting out, how did it evolve since your
Yeah. Well, I
first
mean,
audition?
to backtrack a little bit, last year, my 2018, I really leaned into my producer and writing brain. So I sort of took a step back in terms of performing, and then when 2019 started, I was like, this time I'm going to dedicate my craft to, you know, my first love, which is performance and acting. And then I saw MEERA's audition notice, and I was like, this is great. Conversations of love that transcends language and culture with, you know, South Asian creatives from Gold Coast, as well as people that, you know, that are from Auckland. And then I was like, drama and dance. And I've been really interested in, you know, being more involved in my dancer brain, I guess. And I saw the audition and I just went for it. I was really impulsive, actually. So I just applied. And then as soon as I got the audition notice, I had a bit of a pushback in terms of, because being so involved in the Asian creative sector in Auckland, you know, the classic cultural appropriation came to mind, and I was like, I felt like I was stepping on toes and essentially getting myself in a role that I may not deserve or may not be fit for, even though I'm a Southeast Asian. But, you know, I was just like, this is a beautiful North Indian love story. What the hell is a Filipino, you know, born and raised in New Zealand doing with the show? So I messaged people I trusted, and one of them being Rishab, and he was like, I messaged him, hey, I'm a bit, you know, apprehensive about this. And he was like, what? Call me. And instantly I got in touch, and he talked through what the whole idea of the MEERA company is and how they really wanted to talk about love through diversity. And again, the conversation of the themes that transcends culture and language. And it's something I'm definitely exploring with the work I'm writing as well. And I was like, yes, let's talk about love and let's talk about unity and communities coming together. I'm very grateful that I'm super supported by my Asian community here in Auckland, specifically my dramaturg being an incredible human being, Ahi Karunaharan, an incredible South Asian writer. And he's so wholeheartedly supports my mahi, my work. And I was like, why not do the same back? You know, why not? So once I had the conversation with Rishab, he was like, just come to rehearsal. If you have questions, come in and ask. And then I met Chamka and Archie. And as soon as Archie came into the room, I'm very big on gut instincts, and I just felt really warm and welcomed by Artie's presence. And when she started talking, I instantly felt at ease, and the hesitation sort of left the window and in the room. And I was like, cool, I'll audition my little tush off and we'll see what happens.
Make this my own.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's I'm so grateful and glad that you did, because it's been so great to watch and see some of the pictures and the content that's been coming through, and seeing your involvement with the team and seeing you there alongside them. It's great to have so many different people from so many different backgrounds. You talk about that potential cultural conflict that you were feeling, but that's in essence what MEERA and Wild Dreamer is all about. Being no matter what boundary, where you're from, what your background is, it's all just this in-net collaboration between just amazing talent. So,
and I mean, I find that my great purpose in this play is not to bring, not necessarily to overshadow what I have to bring, but I'm here to serve the story. I'm here to serve the characters and the history that MEERA and Archie is trying to bring on. And as an actor, it's my job to do my research. It's my job to read. It's my job to be involved in the conversations, because I have so much to learn. And it's, if anything, I find that that's one of the most the blessings of doing what I do is that I get to dive into these lives and stories and listen, essentially, listen to other people's stories and learn from that, and how can we open up those conversations and strengthen the community. But yeah, I'm just a sponge. I always say that I'm a sponge, and I'm here to take in, and I'm here to do my job.
That's amazing. Now, can you tell us a bit about the story that you'll be telling this year for MEERA? Are you playing someone in the show? What's your involvement, and how does that look?
Yeah, so I am really lucky to play Utabai. I'm a villain, a joyful villain, and I am in the play to support my two brothers, one whom is a king and one who is played by Rishabh, and I'm there to stir things up. I don't know how much I can say.
I think that is a pretty good way to sum it up. You are someone who, I guess, doesn't see perfectly eye to eye with MEERA's intentions or her desire and divine inside.
Yeah, and she's the perfect conflict of what modern feminism is trying to say, and it's really interesting being a feminist and being, playing the character that opposes that is a challenge, but at the same time, yes, let's amplify this so we know how wrong it is.
Absolutely. And you talked a bit about the research that you've been doing for the character and the show. What kind of research have you been up to? What have you learned about it?
Well, the thing is, I'm so grateful because Artie has been so involved and just been essentially giving us everything we need to know. So it's made my life so much easier. But in terms of really just looking into what MEERA is about and what she represents, and even before I got all the info, I was like, it's really interesting how her representation of love, or her definition of love, is very closely linked to religion and faith, and what those, the gray lines are around love, because it isn't just black and white. It's so convoluted by, what, or we decide to make it complicated anyway, when really it's so pure and it's so genuine, and we just cluster it with all this crap that doesn't really need to be there. But yeah, just really deconstructing who MEERA is, which informs, I guess, my intentions as the villain on how to fight against all the great and good and love that she's trying to share to the people and in the story. So yeah.
It is. It's almost like a really, because I know got to see the show last year. It's almost like a real conflict. You have this. You're just wanting to MEERA to push and go towards her love and what she's passionate about. But you have this twist in the story that is just it's holding her back, and all you want to do is just watch her go free. So I know I can't wait to see your representation of Utabai and see how it looks on stage. It's going to be amazing.
It's still evolving. It's still growing right now. I'm excited to the upcoming rehearsals, and yeah, she's forever growing, Utabai. I know you gotta love and hate your character.
Absolutely. It's all a balance. It's all a balance. But I know you guys have the costume rehearsals coming up in a few days.
Yeah.
But how are the rehearsals panning out this year? Is everything coming together good?
Absolutely. I think it's been a really interesting challenge having the team split, being Gold Coast and the other half, the other part being in Auckland. But it's been really good working closely with Shah, the producer, and Rishabh in terms of rehearsal space. And it's really cool seeing how people step up in terms of, being the core leaders, still being in Gold Coast, and to see what us seniors here in Auckland can do to sort of assist and uplift and essentially, help with the making of the bigger rehearsals that are yet to come. And it's been such a joy working with the younger community of MEERA, just because you learn so much from them. And one of the last rehearsals we did, we were practicing with little Lola and Jeet, who baby MEERA and baby Krishna. And it's just so cool seeing people or little kids teach the adults how how easy it is to express love, you know, and how innocent and how humbling it is. And I think, you know, the adults have a lot to learn from the little ones.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. You often get that wisdom comes with age, but
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that children, especially the younger they are, the more unfiltered they are.
Yeah.
They don't have those judgments or societal kind of expectations, or they're not even considering any of that. And all it is coming from them is just raw expression, raw emotion. And I think that's what, again, makes it so amazing to see all these young performers on stage as well, and just expressing that. It's so cool to see.
Yeah, and I'm really stoked that the story of MEERA does evolve from, you know, across the generation, and really portraying the commitment, the utter commitment to what love is, and holding on to that from such a young age until she's older, and when life tries to bog her down. But yeah, it's a really strong and powerful narrative, and I'm really excited to see it come together for May.
Absolutely. And it's going to be coming together at ASB Waterfront Theatre. But have
Yes.
you performed in this theatre before? Have you been there? Have you seen it?
I have not, but I have worked there as a stage manager before, and I'm really excited to finally be on that stage.
Absolutely.
I keep telling my mum that it's the biggest stage I'll be performing in, and I'm extremely excited. And I'm, you know, when you train for something and it comes to a point when you're like, great, now I can actually apply, you know, the training and the patience to do something this, you know, to the scale. You kind of don't want to mess it up.
Absolutely. It is. It's only that last year it was only one night. Obviously we have 6 nights this year over the long weekend, but it's all about that particular
Six
moment
shows.
on
Six
stage.
shows.
6 shows,
Yeah.
3 nights.
Yes.
But yeah, just about that only, you know, it is your moment on stage when you are delivering those lines. It's not like a movie. You can redo that take. It is there and then in that moment. So it's amazing.
And that's one of the beauty, I think, of theatre, is that it's so ephemeral. It only exists in that moment, and whatever happens is live and it's real, and people need to take it in with all the, you know, the well rehearsed, as well as, you know, there are accidents that happen every now and then. So I tend, as an audience, I look out for those, and I think it makes the show even better.
I think that's what makes it so much more of that immersive experience, is you're just there in that experience, in that world for that short time.
Exactly.
But we've spoken a bit about Auckland, and now I must say your Instagram is literally one of my favorite to follow. It's absolutely full of amazing photos and updates and everything that you're up to and what's going on in the Auckland theatre scene. But can you tell us a bit about what the creative community or the theatre industry, what it's like to be a creative professional in Auckland right now? What is that kind of vibe like?
Right now, the vibe is that being one of the practitioners in the creative arts, and being a woman of color as well, I think it's a very different conversation if you ask anyone else. But for me at the moment, I have a big job. I have a big job to assist in the conversation, to amplify the stories, not just my own, but, you know, all of the stories that I'm unable to tell because it's not my story to tell, but it's for someone else. And it's my job to assist and support and make a platform for that. And like I was saying before, is that right now stories of migrants and people of color is what we need to have these important conversations that I think people need to hear. Not even just hear, but people need to listen to, because I find that is, you know, not being heard or not having the space to even be able to share your voice is the crux of all the problems. The fact that, you know, people are so misunderstood and so unwelcomed, and the arts at the moment is very shaken, but also coming together with the same mission to be welcoming to these voices. And right now, for me specifically, I've been really supported by Proudly Asian Theatre Company to also represent and make Filipino stories visible. not just through my work, but through the stories that I want to assist and the creatives that I want to help, essentially, because I find that even just here in Auckland, there's such a massive Filipino community, but I find that we're so underrepresented and so invisible in the arts and the media, being the third largest Asian population in New Zealand. And New Zealand isn't, that big, but you don't seem to see us anywhere, but we're everywhere.
Yeah.
So at the moment, that is my mission, to change that. And yeah, how do we, because when we talk about representation, it's not just to be seen, it's also to be recognized and acknowledged that there are these people in the community that exist, that are working hard, and they work hard to be here. And having that acknowledgement, I think, just makes the world easier to be in, knowing that you exist. And I think that's not just for the Filipino community. That's for everyone. That's why we need to strive to to be diverse and to be inclusive. And the story is endless. There's a lot.
No, I agree, and it is all about working hard. And I think even more so in light of everything that has been happening in New Zealand and being on almost the world stage, it is almost like you can really see just the in-net community that exists, and just these almost unspoken relationships between everyone that appears to be in Auckland, just clamming together and being one.
And I can see that people here are definitely working to make this shift and to make things happen. But I think we can always do more. We can always do more, and we can always do it better. But yeah, there's a shift, and I can see it, and I can feel it, and I'm riding the wave.
Absolutely.
Or I'm making the wave. I don't know.
And MEERA hopes to be a tsunami in helping that goal to come to life, because that is all we want to do, is create these connections between just pure talent and passionate people, amazing people in the local community, and bring into life something really beautiful. So I know I truly cannot wait to see it this year. But something we got to ask Wishab last week that I would love to ask you now. MEERA 2019. Who will you be bringing to the show? Will it be family, friends? Like who's on the ticket list?
It'll be my mum and my dad.
Wow.
My ma and my pa. Yeah, well, as soon as I got the role, I told my ma that I was doing it, and that she was, my mum's my biggest fan.
Yeah, so you're clear the schedule.
Yeah, I was, because my whānau's in Christchurch, my family's in Christchurch, and I was like, come up, see the show. But yeah, I'm big on family, big on the conversation of love for, your whānau, as we say here. But yeah, that's, everyone else can buy a ticket.
Absolutely. And look, we definitely want to wish all of our thoughts with your family and hope that they are doing well in light of the recent times. I know that All Wild Dreamer just wants to send out positive thoughts to everyone in New Zealand.
Thank you.
But I must say, thank you ever so much for your time today. It has been so great to hear your perspective again from Auckland as such an up-and-coming theatre professional. It is so great to work with such passionate, exciting people like you. It is bringing the show to life like nobody else could.
Thank you for making time for me, George.
Hey, it is my pleasure. I am the blessed one here. So, look, for everyone else, you can catch me and you can catch Marianne actually on stage this May and June at ASB Waterfront Theatre. Tickets are available now, aren't they, Marianne?
Yes, they are. I think I may be wrong, but early bird is still a thing.
Absolutely.
If you want to get in there.
$20 off each ticket purchase, which is just insane. There's even more if a family is coming. You get more discounts. So that's amazing. So it's an ideal time to book. But we will be there 31st of May, 1st of June, and 2nd of June.
That's right.
You can follow our whole story online. You can follow it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to go. Search for MEERA and you'll catch us. And for that, you'll catch us next time on MEERAcast. But thank you, Marianne.
Thank you.
Today. It's been so great to talk, and I'm sure we'll be seeing so much more of you online as well.
Follow me on Instagram if you want.
And what was your Instagram?
At Marianne _Infante. Infant plus an E at the end.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, and we will definitely be talking to you soon.
Amazing. Thank you, George.
Thanks, Marianne. Bye.
Bye.